So today's panel is Assessing World-Class Suppliers Committed to Improve Patient Safety. And our panelists are Connie Conboy, Tony Knight, Scott Goolsby, and Danette Cromes. So everybody give a warm welcome. Thank you.
How's everybody doing today? See you. Welcome to California, right? Beautiful. Let's get a little feel for the audience. How many manufacturers do we have out here? Raise your hand. Yep. How many, we're going to recognize specifically later, but how many MedAccred accredited? Awesome. Okay, great to see that. We'll recognize you formally here in a minute. So great to meet you. My name's Tony Knight, as I shared. I'm with Medtronic. So Senior Director of Global Supplier Quality for CMOEM. And we're excited to be here today with my colleagues and to walk through the MedAccred program. So, with that, the title of this today is Assessing World-Class Suppliers Committed to Improved Patient Safety, right? And what we're going to walk through today is a brief introduction to the program. Some of you are aware, but for those that are not, we're going to dive into some of the details. Then we have a special announcement that we're going to bring forward, an expansion of the program that we're going to speak about today. And then we're going to have a panel discussion at the end. So bring all your questions. We're really looking for some tough questions today, okay? We don't want any softball stuff. So bring it hard, bring it fast. That's what we like to do, right? This is about surgery and medical device, so we want to get it in there today. So I think I have a clicker here. As we look at it, what is the focus of MedAccred? So the focus is, at the end of the day, improving patient safety. And, why would the leading medical device OEM manufacturer in the world come together and create this program? Ultimately, it's for that patient safety piece. So I am the patient. So I've got a C4 to C6 fusion, ACDF, anterior cervical discectomy fusion with Medtronic, Atlantis Elite cervical plate, my titanium plate. I've met the operators that manufactured my plate in Warsaw, Indiana. I've been to Humacao, Puerto Rico 18 times where they did my screws. And I used to lead the quality division for neurosurgery in Fort Worth, where our high-speed neurosurgical drill systems are now at the end of the Missouri robot. I've got Globus cervical interbody spacers, so thanks to Globus. I'm a ResMed CPAP user with 78% oxygen levels with epoxy. Forget apnea, I'm down in the epoxy range. And then I love my Philips oxygen concentrator popped into the back of my CPAP, and I can survive on about 4.5 hours of sleep with 98% oxygen. I did last night, and I'm still here. So, for yourself, right, tell me when to stop, right? But raise your hand or you just nod. How many of you are a direct patient of our awesome medical device industry? You or your family, right? I mean, it's everybody in this room, right? It's either today or tomorrow, your neighbor. So we all have this incredible passion for what we do. And so with that, we have these challenges, right? We have the recalls. We all see it. We're all a part of this, unfortunately, at different times, but we don't want to be. So how do we get in front of this, and how do we have a level of quality and understanding of our processes where we can guarantee the product quality and the patient safety? That's what we're here about today. So again, we have all the challenges. We're aware it goes on, and we have issues in certain areas. We're going to get into that here in a second. What we did is we sent out a survey to those suppliers who are MedAccred accredited. And so we asked you, we said, you've been a part of the program, what happens? Is there any value? Does it work? So here's what the outcome was. So added value, 89% of people. So here today say, should we do this? We're not going to let you out of here until everybody's signed up to get accredited, okay? So we didn't tell you that. We're blocking the doors, but yes, you should do it. Why? Here it is, quality outcomes. Improved quality, 71%. You can read for yourself, right? Reduced in-house defect rates, 61%. Reduced defective product escaping to customers, 56%. What about business outcomes? I mean, it's great to save lives, but we have to make money to do it. It is a business model, right? So what about that? Resulted in revenue growth, 58%. This is you speaking. It's not us. This is a program we stood up, you're participating, you're seeing the value. So, that's the exciting part. I think because of the improvement in quality reported, with that, we looked at the metrics, and many of the companies yourselves have stepped forward that are accredited, provided those metrics. We have some case studies today. So afterwards, come on up, we printed out case studies, because the bottom line, you're going to have to take and sell this, right? You've got to go internal to your executives, to your teams, and say, hey, we really ought to do this. And we're going to give you some incentive for the contract manufacturers here in a minute and the announcement we're going to make. It's going to help you in that. But the rest of us that aren't CMs, let's say, you need this data, you need these case studies we have to take this back and make that case. And we're here to do that with you. So what's the real value? The real value is improving quality, reducing costs. I mean, it's simple. You know, it's like the Ginsu knife commercial, right? I mean, it just makes you a believer. The guy's cutting bricks, he's cutting walls down, and he's slicing steaks and tomatoes like silver thin, right? I mean, it's just like, you know, that. If it's hard to explain, if you can't see it, if you can't see that if you improve quality with this program or reduces cost, then there must not be value in it. Well, it's straightforward. And so that's what we're here to look at today. So what is MedAccred? The background of it, how do we get it done? It's industry managed, as we mentioned. We'll get to who the subscribers are, who of us as OEMs in the med device space stand it up. You already know, but basically. But Performance Review Institute, PRI, is a not-for-profit trade association MedAccred's led and managed by us, the medical device companies, to provide supply chain oversight for critical manufacturing processes. The PRI is really that engine that helps us drive this program. And Connie Conboy leads that for us, the director of PRI. So it's great to be with her. She's going to be on stage here in a minute. Justin McCabe, call out to him. Barbara Lee. There's this whole host of people that you interface as a company to work through this. So, and what do we do? Verify compliance requirements, assure quality products, reduce patient risk, like we've been talking about. Let's get to the detail. What are the critical process areas for accreditation? So plastics, plastics extrusion, plastics injection molding, plastics mechanical assembly, and all these sub-processes under it. We'll get to the details of what it is and how that works in a second. PCBAs, bare boards, cable and wire harness, sterilization, sterile device packaging, labeling, printing, UDI, heat treating, and welding. So many special processes that we don't have verifiable outputs. So how can we assure that the product process quality is there, but also other processes, not just special, okay? So let's get to the details. What is, at the end of the day, we talked a lot. We talked about medical device. We're all a part of it. Improve quality, reduce cost, but what is the program? What is the guts of it? And so the bottom line is we look at it, the critical process capability is what we're looking at. We bring auditors who are actually subject matter experts, let's say in welding, let's say in laser welding. You know, I was at a supplier in the last few days, laser welding failure. And I said, okay, well, are you releasing each device on power output? No, we measure power the first and then the last, but in between, we just look at it. Okay. Wow. So my idea of what good looks like, there's only one question. What does good look like? That's the baseline. And that's what we're going after with these SMEs. So literally, for example, on our sterilization, where the subject matter experts on our sterilization subcommittee for our process audit criteria are the SMEs in the world that sit on ISO boards. And our auditors are coming from 20, 30, 40 years of sterilization expertise in the industry. The same with heat treating, the same with plastics injection molding. I think it's almost a misnomer to call them auditors. I mean, they are, but it's actually process excellence audit, right? It's helping you build that capability at that deep process level. We're not here to just audit. We're here to ensure that your processes have the right elements in them that are going to deliver that guaranteed quality. So for that laser welding process as an example, you know what we found? They're doing 100% pull test on every one. I mean, really? I thought it was at least the 20th century, and then I woke up and it was the 21st century. I mean, I have the ability on the output of that equipment to look at power. I don't care how much voltage you got to dump in. That's going to degrade over time, the lamp and the gag, rods and all that. But if I know how much power is going in and I've characterized it, I've validated that output of power that I get a good weld, I don't have to be pulled. Are you kidding me? So it's this type of SME expertise that we bring to the table. They've been in that space for years. They're going to help you build that capability in your processes. That's what this is all about. If you look at the e-audit criteria, if you look at the actual audit criteria we have, yeah, it's a little daunting, but we provide that support. We provide that consulting to help you get your processes to that level. So this is really your ticket to help build that capability you've always been wanting to build, to go to your executives and get their buy-in and subscribe to this program and then you can have that output that you're looking for. So with that, again, we hire the SMEs to do this. Here, represented Edwards Life Sciences, Danette Crims, Scott Goulsby with Stryker. We are the ones that bring these SMEs. We are the ones that interview and hire who they are, okay, to ensure that the depth is there that we're looking for. We are the ones that, with these subcommittees, look at the pre-audit inputs from all of us. We look at the audit outputs from your processes, agree to what the non-conformances are. So it's literally we're involved with you, but administered through PRI and through these subject matter expert, process experts, I would call them. So moving quickly then, so yes, we have our QMS. To me, I call it your driver's license, right? But personally, I love to drive my 66 Shelby Cobra. I don't know about you. I have a license. That's your quality management system. You got to have it. But when we talk about MedAccred, it's like, let's build the car, all right? Preferably fast. And yes, I would prefer to die in my Cobra over all other options, right? If I have to go, that's my choice. Off the cliff or in the wall versus other options. So that's the whole point. We're here to build awesome product. That's what MedAccred's about. Yes, your QMS, we know that. Of course, we have to have that. That is the structure of everything. But where it all happens is in that work step at that piece of equipment with that operator. And that's what we get into, and that's what we do. So who are we? You know who we are. It's Medtronic, it's Baxter, it's Philips. This is MedAccred. We are the subscribers. We're the ones that stood this whole program up. So Philips, Johnson & Johnson, BD, Stryker, Bausch Health, Boston Scientific, Roche Diagnostics, and Edwards Life Sciences. And yes, we're looking for more people to join all the time. It's not a closed, this is an open party, okay? But that's who we are. And we fund this with you as a supplier. You add your funding to be a part of it, yes. We determine the audit criteria. Like I told you, we have full access to the findings, and we grant the accreditations. Global program, of course, we're out there. This has been going for over 5 years now. So United States, Mexico, Costa Rica, China, United Kingdom, France, Romania, Austria, Malaysia, Thailand, Israel, India, Ireland, in process, Dominican Republic in process of accreditations. It's out there, it's global, it's already happening. So what about impact? What about FDA? Does anybody care? We care, so you care. But we care, and we all care, that the FDA, what is their stance? Well, it's pretty exciting, actually. So if you look at it for just a couple of examples, we want to look and see on the heat treating parametering standard, FDA's ran full recognition of this. First time any standard's been recognized by FDA for heat treat. So we're there with that. What about, let's keep going. Stay with me. In addition, they're working with us to explore the potential use of MedAccred sterilization audits. The FDA's come and said, you have the global experts in sterilization. Just 2 examples I'll bring it to you. We want to talk with you about, can we use those audits in place of ours, is the conversation we're having with them. What about another piece? Well, let's talk about supply chain resiliency. So, right? No, there's no more supply chain. Excuse me, I misspoke. Supply web, right? That's the phrase today, isn't it? Wall Street Journal, right? That's what we're all experiencing. There's no chain anymore. It's a web. And so what about that? So FDA stood up and come to MedAccred and said, give us an industry executive, sit with us. Let's look at if a company is accredited for Stryker, for Edwards Life Sciences, and they've accredited their process areas, can Medtronic or can BD or can Roche come in? They can use the same supplier with no further qualification required, right? So we're looking at how can we build out that scalability globally and lift and shift, okay? So a huge point. We're in there, I'm just gonna have to say weekly with FDA, okay? So it's a huge piece. Benefits, the benefits are there, improved products, quality of products, all the things that we know, process control capability. I can't emphasize enough, this is in your process at the product level. That's why I almost hesitate to use the word audit, all right? Because it's about process excellence and what good looks like in that space. So what are the final benefits to you, or to us, I should say, sorry. Enhances the rigorous oversight of critical manufacturing processes for us. If you're accredited, each of us have said we will accept that accreditation audit so that we don't have to come. For example, if we look at one of the sterilizers, they've committed to all 16 sites being accredited. So we will accept. Now, we still might do a for-cause audit. Okay. There might be some instances where we'll come in that you would expect us to. But in general, for your ongoing audits, this is an annual accreditation audit and we accept that audit into our organizations as OEMs. Okay. So that's a critical point to make. The other part is giving us the visibility of supply chains we talked about at the tier level. And we're going to make that announcement here in a second. And so improved capability to meet FDA purchasing control requirements, a huge piece here. And really, I think the big part that we were just sharing, some of us only just met each other. It's, how weird it is to see humans these days, right? So we were together. It was exciting to meet each other. But I think the collaboration, are we competitors? Yeah, we compete to save lives. That's what we do. We're seeing who can save as many lives as possible, right? But we collaborate, and we're really passionate about that and collaborating with you as suppliers. That's huge for us. Now we want to recognize in the crowd those of you who are accredited or here today, a part of the program. So we have, you can do what you like. It's you. You can raise your hand, you can stand up, you can dance, whatever you feel happy to you. But we want to recognize Technomark, SMC, Hoffer. These are all accredited suppliers in MedAccred. So if you want to raise your hand or dance, thank you. Thank you. Volpol, if I said that right, Valpol, thank you. TPI, Solar Atmospheres, thank you. PTA Plastics, thank you. Stereotech, in the back there, thank you. TG3 Electronics, great, thank you. And I think, no, PTI Engineered Plastics, yep, thank you. Benchmark, okay. Cason, thank you. And Bodycoat, thank you. So at this point, I think, congratulations to all these suppliers that are accredited. Well, thank you for your contribution. Round of applause. And I think you can see their feedback. Some of them are the ones that we surveyed. So feel free, find each other, talk, find them. And now I'd like to introduce Danette Crooms, Vice President of Global Supplier Quality at Edwards Life Sciences, for a special announcement on the expansion of the MedAccred program, and one that we're all very excited about.
Thank you very much. And I'm very excited to be here today to be able to give this announcement today. So in joint with MedAccred, we are here to announce an expansion of a program within the MedAccred portfolio that's aimed at contract manufacturers. So it's a build upon the MedAccred program. And what it does is it allows the contract manufacturers to be accredited suppliers, but then also become subscribers for their second tier suppliers. So they will be able to engage in the same benefits in the MedAccred program that we get with our suppliers. So it is expansion in that second tier supply chain where we all get those advantages of the program. And it's intended to be an improved product quality across the board. So we've developed this, like you said, with Tony and the other subscribers with the program. And we're excited to be here today to announce this. And we'll be here after to talk more about the details. But really the goal, it's a hybrid program where you get the advantage of being a subscriber to the program as well as being a supplier to us. And really this goal is to drive those higher standards of product quality through the supply chain and deliver on those enhanced commitments of patient safety. So thank you, and we'll be here to talk about the details later too.
Thank you, Danette. And thank you, Tony. Great presentation on MedAccred, and really a nice opportunity for those in the audience now to ask some great questions about MedAccred. I have a few of my own, so we'll get started there. But it is a very exciting program. So you'll hear from Scott Goolsby, who also is part of this panel as well from Stryker, along with Danette and Tony that you've already met. So to get started, I'd like to ask why MedAccred, what it means really to your company. You've been very involved in the program, and can you explain that? Scott, can we get started with you?
Yeah, sure. Good morning, everybody. So if we look at our mission, Stryker's mission, which is that together with our customers, we're driven to make healthcare better. For those of us that work with suppliers and supply chain, there's really a couple ways we can support that mission. make better sourcing decisions for future business. The suppliers that we're already working with help make them better. And we believe that that MedAccred really gives us a way to accomplish both of those goals and really support our mission. So it's just directly aligned with our overall mission statement of our company. So we're happy to support the program, happy to give technical experts to it, and we're all in.
Terrific. And Danette, I know you have some excellent perspective on that. And in fact, Danette, I think when we were last at the MD&M show in 2020, really started to explore it in a much more in-depth way and decided to become a subscriber. So why don't you explain, the value really to Edwards?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's right. We're new on the newer side of the subscriber list. So we've been with the program for about 2 years, all during COVID. So it's the first time we've ever been able to meet in person, which is fantastic. But as you all know, there's an increased perspective on supply chain and our oversight of that. And we're getting that from our FDA auditors. We're getting that from our notified body auditors. So for our perspective, provides an additional tool in our toolkit that we can use. And as we have the quality audits, those are very broad. Tony talked about that in his presentation. But these audits really go deep on the processes that the suppliers are conducting. And it provides us a very clear capability that we know those suppliers are stable and capable in that process. And that gives us, if we're looking at new suppliers or looking to bring higher capacity at suppliers, we know those are the suppliers we're going to go with first because we know they have those capabilities built in. So it provides a great value to us from that perspective.
Yeah, I'll just add real quick. So, just like Scott and Danette, for Medtronic, it's an absolute priority. So we're prioritizing you as a supplier. We're prioritizing selection based on this. We're prioritizing, really the fact that we know as you go through this accreditation that we're going to get that higher level of quality from you. So it's a huge focus from our side. We start many of our account reviews with what are the areas that you could be accredited in? Where are you accredited? And what is the plan or strategy to get there in this space? I see it as a free offering for you, like I shared earlier, basically, where you're going to put the time and money and effort in, and you're going to get that product output as a result of it.
Thank you. And I know a question we always get from the audience, so probably many of you are thinking about this. How does this differ from a quality management system audit? Because everybody's very familiar with that type of audit. So if you could explain really the difference that we're talking about with the deep dive process audit. Scott, do you want to begin your perspective on that?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of how it is relative to a QMS audit, QMS audit is generally very broad, not very deep. And the auditor is going to spend a lot of time in a meeting room looking at documents, things like this. In a MedAccred audit, first of all, it's very difficult. It's very technical. It's very difficult. And the auditors are going to spend much more time on the shop floor, talking to the operators, looking at your SOPs, looking at your controls, your process controls, all the things that really directly affect your product quality. And so it's not an office audit. It's not a desk audit. It's a very practical audit. And so they're going to go much deeper. And the feedback we get is that it is difficult. It's challenging. It's very technical, but it's very well worth it because it's driving the types of questions that are going to determine your process controls that are really going to impact your product quality.
Yes, and Danette, do you have comments on that?
Yeah, I was just going to add to that. So I think one of the feedback we've gotten from the suppliers as well is it provides an opportunity to have someone come in and do that deep dive perspective and independent look at your processes independently and outside of an official audit. So it's not under the FDA, it's not under a notified body, it's not under a customer. So it also provides that great feedback for you to do continuous improvement activities outside of any of those direct oversights and make those improvements then for all of your customers across the board.
Great.
Yeah, there's a preparation piece, right? So we're not just going to come in and say, hey, let's go for it. Let's see if you sink or swim. No, there's that preparation piece that we go through, provide resources with you for that so you can get up to speed. And I think towards what Scott and Danette are speaking to, you would want that. And that's really probably the most powerful piece is getting all of those elements in place so that when you do that accreditation audit, you're going to be successful.
You know, that's an excellent point that you make, Tony. You can even do a pre-assessment audit, I think, that gives any organization a great opportunity to understand where their issues might be before the accreditation audit. So that's a possibility, and it enables companies to really identify any major issues and address them if they want prior to the regular accreditation audit. So excellent idea to really prepare properly for this. Now, in terms of this program, it's different. It's industry managed. So how is the industry managed aspect of this working? How do you work together? Do you want to explain some of this? And I think all of you might be interested in answering that question.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the pieces is we get together and we're under, Justin leads this for us. It's all the non-compete, it's all the legal pieces that we know we're a part of. But we do benchmark then with each other in light of that, with PRI facilitating. We benchmark what our best practices are for implementation. You know, we did this on the audit acceptance to ensure on the communication. So let's say you're MedAccred accredited, then how do we get that communication out to our orgs? How do we accept those audits in? And we're sharing those best practices with each other. I think that collaboration piece is huge. And then we already talked about, right? Who we hire, how we get into the audits, how we look at the audit criteria pieces. In fact, I'll share this because I'm going to forget and I'll stop. But I say either become accredited or in a very positive way, I will use, Medtronic will use the accreditation audit criteria to audit you. So why don't you just go ahead and get credit for it? Do the pre-audit pieces, preparation, okay? Which we're not publishing that. I mean, that's for your knowledge, like, you know, you shared, Connie, but we're using those same criteria in our process audits when we come in. So.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity for the collaboration, like you said, Connie, because I almost think of it as a steering committee for like supplier management across the board with all the different subscribers. So we can certainly do the MedAccred program, but as we come up upon issues, it's also a great opportunity. We can work through those issues together, and then we have a single voice across the board. And that's essentially how this new CMO program came. We realized that, hey, if our CMOs had an opportunity to engage in this program as well, wouldn't that be great? So we worked together to figure out how we could make that happen. So we've got that, it creates a bigger voice for us as a total, and then we've got that collaboration across the board on best practices as well.
Yeah, when I think about how we get involved, there's really two main touch points where the subscribers are getting involved and collaborating. So there's the management council where we all get together and overall steer the program. And then there's also the task groups. So we've all given, for example, our best technical minds in the PCBA area, and they all get in a room, a virtual room most of the time, and they develop the criteria. So it blends the best criteria that we've all agreed upon with the best auditors that have decades of experience. And the combination of those two things really produces the extensive and valuable audit that we're talking about. And so, yeah, for example, Stryker has given our sterilization experts to speak with the sterilization experts from the other OEM subscribers to develop that criteria. And they're also involved in hiring the auditors, making sure that they are really truly industry experts in that area.
Yes, Tony.
Yeah, you know, I just want to highlight back onto all of this, and then Danette, what she announced with contract manufacturers being subscribers, that program expansion. I mean, we're extremely passionate about this. You know, I mean, I lead that space globally for Medtronic and contract manufacturing now. And as I mentioned to you on the count reviews, I know I'm repeating here, but that's what they say, something about education. I don't know. It's something my kids tell me. But, you know, in that space, look, I mean, as a contract manufacturer, to have your sub-tier suppliers, have your suppliers, you know, accredited, right? That is so powerful for you. And we're looking for that. And so if you're here today, come talk to us. I mean, the benefits, we can share with you the benefits. There's discounts, there's bonuses, there's door prizes, there's all kind of stuff. You know, and I'm talking truthfully about the discounts and what that is on the subscriber side. So there's elements to this that you're going to be very interested in. And that finished device is why I'm passionate about it. It's so critical, your supply chains, right? We all know that. This gives you the lever and the power to be able to ensure those supply chains that are feeding you.
Yes, and this area of collaboration is so powerful. I mean, we watch it from the sidelines because we're administering the program for you, but to see each of the companies working together with your technical experts in all these specific areas, you keep raising the bar. And that really drives that improvement in patient safety. So it's so great to see the industry really pulling together for this, and now including contract manufacturers in the future. So that's going to be another very powerful aspect for sure. So there's a lot of suppliers here. And can you tell me what, from your perspective, like why should a supplier do this? What are the advantages for the suppliers themselves? From your perspective. So each of you, maybe Tony, do you want to get started?
Yeah, and I think we've hit on this a bunch today, right? I mean, it's the cost savings. It's assuring the product quality that you have. It's the prioritized view that you get in our supplier selection process and for programs that we're putting out for quote, right? It's all these things that you would hope for and expect and know would happen if you're going to put your time and money into this type of a program. And it's real. It's real at our level with our teams that are over there right now. So as everybody's are here, of course, our global supply management vice presidents are all here today, and they support, drive, and fund MedAccred. It's not a quality-driven initiative. It's a collaboration with our organization, Medtronic, across all functions, led with supply management and global supplier quality.
I totally agree with that. And I mean, I've got a recent example where we selected a MedAccred approved supplier because we needed a quick turnaround on a capacity, an increased capacity. And as you all know, we qualify suppliers by location. So sometimes we'll be working with a supplier, but we don't have all of their locations. So this is one where the supplier had an additional location. They're already MedAccred approved in that critical process that we needed. And we immediately started working with them. I don't have to go, we will have to do a quality audit at some point, but I don't need to go do that audit to start that selection process. So it brings them to the forefront, and we've built that into our selection process as well. So it's going to be more and more where we are looking at the MedAccred accredited suppliers first. And then if we don't find one, then we'll go to the next ones, but it certainly gives those suppliers a leg up on new products, new capacity, and increased production.
Yeah, so they've already mentioned the quality side of it, and we've seen in the survey results some of the benefits that accredited suppliers are seeing. I'll take it from more the operational and audit piece. One of the things we want to do is build this into the way we do business, build it into our QMS, build it into our business processes. And so one of the benefits is that we're going to know when you're quoting business with us if you're accredited or not. It's one of the questions that we ask, and that's a selection criteria. The other piece is the audit piece. We've built it into our QMS so that we can take a MedAccred audit and we can use that to fulfill some or all of the scope of an audit that we personally have to perform. So we have an audit coming up for you in our audit schedule that Stryker has to perform. We can take the MedAccred audit, review the results, review the scope, and we can say, yes, that satisfies a portion of or all of the need for us to come audit you. And that's something that we have built it into our process, but we're just streamlining that so that we can get it done more often and take advantage of more audits.
I want to jump in there real quick. We've had some the benchmarking piece we had with this, and you that are current suppliers that are accredited. Look, Medtronic has 90,000 employees. And you say, well, Medtronic called up and said they wanted to do an audit and, they're looking at this process area. And we told them we're MedAccred accredited. And they're like, what? And so we're building internally in Medtronic. I'm only speaking for myself. I won't look over here. We're building it in all of our global audit teams, constantly telling them, here's what MedAccred is, explaining to them, but you have to advocate for yourself as you will. Call me. I'll give you my card, right? Just come, somebody scanned. I go, what? You're going to scan me. So they scanned me a while ago. Fine. Get hold of us and we'll intersect for you right there, right? I can't speak for these folks, but I'll say from our side, but you've got to advocate for yourself. We're building this, in 5 years, just like we have an aerospace, NADCAP, it's like, yep. But today we continue to build that traction. So don't be discouraged. You're like, yeah, I'm seeing it. No, just keep on it, focus, call us. We'll prioritize it.
Now, we've been asking a lot of questions up here. So are there questions from the audience that, yes. And please introduce yourself and your company as well.
Yeah, Mike Mahaz from Jabil. Appreciate the panelists' time this morning to share your views on MedAccred and the value it brings to your businesses. Certainly, we see the value in our focus on providing products to you and how that impacts patients. How do you see the program evolving over the next 5 to 10 years and expanding both in terms of sponsorships and companies that are joining you in this mission and just the program itself?
Now, before you get started, I want to highlight, Jabil. You've done a terrific job, and you have now a new facility accredited in Mexico, the first plastics injection molding facility in Mexico accredited to MedAccred. So congratulations on that and your commitment to patient safety. You've have a number of your facilities now accredited and will be doing even much more in the future. So thank you. And we really appreciate that commitment that you've shown. So,
Yeah.
yes.
So, yeah, second that. And I think the answer is yes. I mean, we want to continue to move forward. COVID was a massive hit, right, for the last couple of years. And so, but it didn't really slow us down. I wouldn't argue. We were here, and internally we were getting our, benchmarking pieces in place. So where we go, where we expand, one of them is what was already touched on, this whole QMS piece. So we want to get to that turnkey place where, look, you're good at what you're good at, so you got to be careful. Our goal is not necessarily to be full QMS, full process accreditation, but we do understand, like for sterilization, we're there. Okay, so it's a full QMS, it's a full process audit, turnkey, 100% everything. And like Scott touched on it, there are pieces that we bring in from the QMS, and we're having that ongoing discussion. So that the benefit to you then is that we wouldn't even have to show up to do a QMS audit. Again, I'm just giving you a vision of maybe the future, like you asked for in that space. As far as technology spaces or process audit areas, other ideas in that space. And we're looking for, right, key areas and priorities that you would bring to us as suppliers and say, what about this?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like the MedAccred program it's not in its infancy, but maybe it's in its teenagehood. So it seems like the more subscribers we get and the more suppliers we get into the program, the more value it's going to bring to all of us. Like I said before, what brings really the value for us is we know that supplier is stable and capable in that space. And it makes it so easy for us to just start working with that supplier off the bat. So the more suppliers we get into the program, the more we're going to have that capability and the less effort we have to put on in getting suppliers up to that level individually as each of the companies. And then as the more suppliers we have, the more subscribers we're going to have. So then the value to you is also going to increase because we're going to have less audits, less oversight as well. So as we continue to expand these programs, build on the platforms that have already been started, it's just going to bring more value to both sides.
Scott, do you have any comments or no? Okay. So any further questions from the audience? Okay, I have another one. So what feedback have you received from suppliers who are accredited? And, can you give us sort of some perspective from that, from the supplier side?
Yeah. The first thing I want to say is that we understand that we're growing and we are trying to learn and get better. It's one of the reasons why we do the survey. It's one of the reasons why we're doing case studies. And so I'll start with a positive and then a constructive feedback or constructive criticism. So from the positive, it's that I think I shared it earlier. We hear from our suppliers that it's very difficult. These audits are challenging, but they're valid and they're very important in terms of driving actual control. So they're getting practical use out of the audits, and it's driving improvement. So on the positives, that's absolutely a reality. On the constructive criticism or constructive feedback side, they want to see us using these audits. Us as subscribers, they want to see us saying, we are not auditing you this year because you're accredited. That's 100%. Our suppliers want to see that. And I can just say that, us building it into our QMS, building a process out that's repeatable and reliable so that every time we have an audit that's due for you, if you're accredited, that lead auditor knows about it and they build it into the scope for that audit. The feedback from our suppliers is that we need to do a better job of that. And that's something I can just speak for Stryker. We're working on that process right now. So those are the two main feedbacks that we get.
Yeah. Totally second what Scott shared. I had this dream the other day. I always tell this story. I try to be funny. But, I'm usually not, but I had this dream that a finished medical device is made up of highly engineered components, right? So engineers sit around and design components that fit together and make a finished device. And my passion, what I see in this program is product quality. I see basically guaranteed product quality in these process areas that we go after. And so that's what we're looking for, is how can I ensure my yields are at 100%? How can I ensure that my controls are state of the art and monitored, and that I don't inspect anything at the end of the process, right? It's controlled, outputs are monitored throughout, and the product comes off. So it's all about the product quality, which results in that finished device being able to be built, and that patient safety then is basically guaranteed based on that design that's been manufactured. So that's what I see as the value of this. Again, I hesitate. I know it's a contradiction. It is a process audit, but it's for accreditation of that process, that it meets the criteria to deliver the output quality required. So I don't even see it as an audit. You know, it's a process excellence. I mean, I do, right? It's that I'm just, you know, right? It's that process excellence accreditation is what we're after here, and what the program is all about.
Terrific. Yes.
I was just going to
Danette?
add to that, and one of the statements we use at Edwards a lot is feedback is a gift. So it's an opportunity for the suppliers to get feedback on those processes, like I said, and outside the scope of a notified body or a direct customer oversight, where you've got opportunity to have someone that's an expert in that process, identify any potential gaps. You've got the opportunity to close those gaps. And then you get that accreditation across the board for all of the subscribers. So it's a great opportunity to get that feedback outside of a different type of scope of opportunity.
Yes. Excellent points. And you spoke, Tony, about the FDA. And I know there's a lot of work underway right now with the FDA. I think many companies really are interested as to, okay, exactly how is this working with the FDA? Do you have any maybe further insights into what is going on, and just kind of sharing that with the audience?
I mean, I'll be brief, and then others please jump in, but it's what we shared. You know, look, the proof's in the pudding. If the results are there and the FDA is showing up saying we're seeing positive results, we're seeing results that are real, that are tied to standards, and that are world-class in their, you know, in their foundation and in their outputs. And so we're being recognized for that. And that's what we already knew, right? But it's nice to implement it and get it there. And so I think with FDA, we've already shared on the sterilization side what's happening, on the supply chain resiliency. So we're very excited, you know, about that partnership that we're seeing there together.
Yes. And just a final kind of question for everyone. In terms of patient safety, you know, this is an important aspect of the program. You mentioned it throughout, I think, the discussions here on the panel, and also as being a primary aspect. How do you see this really impacting patient safety as we're moving forward with the program? And if you could each give your perspective on that.
Yeah, I mean, continuous improvement. We all look for ways to drive continuous improvement, and this is absolutely a way that, you know, just speak for Stryker, we believe that this can drive continuous improvement with our suppliers. And, you know, that's how we achieve quality, is just keep getting better.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you saw in the survey results as well. I mean, the suppliers that are part of this program, not only are they improving their product quality, they're decreasing their costs. So there's advantage on both sides of that. So there's seemingly to be no downside.
You know where I'm going to come out on it. I'm the patient. And so, you know, I tell people I don't even have any motivation anymore. My passion is screwed into my spine, right? And actually, one of my devices broke the other day. I think I fried it in Ireland with 230 volts. I mean, it's rated for that, but you know, a special buy, a commodity buy on some of these little semiconductors these days. Anyway, it broke, and for 3 days, I didn't get as much oxygen. And I mean, honestly, I felt like I should go to the hospital. I mean, that was just last week. I was stumbling around my house. I'm just being open. So I have insane passion around the patient, you know, impact, and the quality of our devices, like all of you do. So like, it's a win-win, like Danette said.
Thank you. This has been a great panel discussion, and I really appreciate your participation and really explaining the program. I think there were lots of questions that you answered that probably the audience had. We'd like to kind of answer more. If you have it, we'll be at the booth number 2065 if you want to find us back in the corner back there. But also we have some case studies if you're interested in that as well. Where suppliers who have been through the process really have shared their journey, their quality journey, and how it's improved their final products, where they were before the accreditation and now where they are today. And I think that's very much of interest. We'll be happy to answer any questions. So please feel free to ask any of our panelists or the MedAccred team itself. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.